Hello and welcome. It's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com. And I think this has got to be the coolest quote of the day. And I do have lots of cool stuff that happens every day. So I've just finished running my PhotoReading MasterMind group. And someone was explaining how having integrated syntopic reading and direct learning and the stuff with the mind probing and the intuition, how it's all just coming together in ways that they, didn't even imagine possible. And the quote that they used was, they said, "I'm entering Harry Pottersville world where once inanimate objects now come to life," because they were talking about the way that books and material it's just coming to life as if by magic. And so that was their explanation of it, which I thought was a really, really cool way of describing it, because one of the things I'm always saying is that it does actually bring the book. It's as though the books are speaking to you. It's as though you are interacting with them. The analogy and the exercise that I gave them to do last month, because it's a 6-month program, was imagine sitting around the table with the authors, where, and of course the authors aren't there in person, and this is one of the things that she'd been doing. And so it's really fantastic just to see the way that it evolves. I had someone else on the course which was interesting, because as often happens, people join the call going, "Oh my God, it's been such a busy week. I haven't done a busy month. I haven't done anything." And then as they're talking, the magic unfolds and they're like, "Oh, actually that is pretty amazing." So I had one person who said, "Look, I didn't really do anything." And then while I was giving some coaching around how to not put it aside, don't try and create time for it because it's probably never going to happen, but here's a way to bring it into your daily life, he suddenly then remembered something. And he said, "I've been using it in my Tai Chi," because we talked about how to draw on, how can we say, universal wisdom, let's just put it like that for ease of a term. And so what he had said was, let's see, where's his bit? Okay, so he said, "I've accessed it with my Tai Chi training, and I've been inviting in the masters, and it kind of and to come in and correct my form." And he says, "And I'm holding my own on the course as well," which is just amazing. So he's learning a new skill, calling on the masters, and he's noticing that he's holding his own, which is amazing. And then we had somebody who was doing more traditional stuff, and she'd taken an exam, and that was the thing that she wanted to focus on, because each month people get some tasking to do. And she said, "My exam went oh God, that's so cool. My exam went was like went like a movie, in terms of, we talk about Imagineering as well. So my exam went like a movie, and for the first time ever, I actually felt like I know the answer to this." She said, "I've never had that before in my life, and there is so much I want to play with and ask the angels to download." Now, she's a similar age to me. I'm 50. I have no idea how old she is. I've never asked, but we're not talking about a teenager who's just started taking exams. This is someone who's been through the whole educational system. And so to just after a few, 2.5 days, of course, learning this, and then, we're in our 4th session now, to have that experience for the first time in your life, it's like freaking magic. It really, really is. It's just amazing. And so it was just one of those wonderful things. And that's one of the things I'm always saying to people about this crazy thing called photo reading. The way I see it, it's like bringing books to life, and it's like having magical books. So the fact that they used Harry Potterville in their analogy in terms of stepping into a whole new world, that's long since been the way I've seen it. And so Harry Potter was actually a really nice visual for me, because when the movie came out, they actually had talking books. And that's the way it almost is. And people on the workshops, I've had people say to me on the workshop, "What did you do to my book?" I'm like, "What do you mean, what did I do to your book? I haven't touched a book. I don't even know what your book is." And what they mean by that is they feel I've done something to the book because they're opening it at just the right page. They're finding the information they need. A number is coming into their head. They go to that number, and there, lo and behold, right on the page is exactly what they're looking for. And that's the thing that starts to happen. So when she kind of used the Harry Potter analogy, I just thought that was brilliant, because having had a peek into the library of Harry Potter, it's just so cool. Can you imagine going through your whole life and then suddenly finding something that changes it so dramatically that you are almost living in another world? and it's a world which is supportive of you. It's a world where things fall into place. It's the world where something that has previously been a struggle is now easy. And I think the thing that stuns everyone, and this happens year in, year out, for as long as I've been running the PhotoReading mastermind groups, people are astounded with how much they have achieved with no effort, because they will come onto the call and say, I've done nothing, da 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 da, and then they're talking and I'm pointing stuff out and going, well, hold on a minute, how did you do that? Hang on a minute, da, 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 da. Could you do that before? And they're like, oh my God, no, I couldn't. Oh my God, oh my God. And that's part of my aim, really, is to have it be part of your daily life so that you don't even notice. So it really is, if I were to kind of describing it, a bit like the quote where she said it's like entering into Harry Potterville world, it is like going through those magical gates where take the plunge, and just magical, amazing, incredible stuff happens right before your very eyes. And I know, you know, the obvious thing when people are thinking about coming to PhotoReading, the obvious thing is they've got piles of books that they haven't read, but, you know, they haven't read, but they want to read, or they need to read. So, you know, I would, of course, have students coming on the workshops. Youngest one thus far has been 7 years old, right through to, you know, teenagers who are doing their GCSEs and A levels. Also have people who've gone back to professional study. And I have people who see beyond just the books and see the possibility of tapping into their creativity, tapping into their intuition, better decision-making skills, making much better, you know, use of this wonderful thing that sits between our ears and supercharging their brain. And tonight the piece that we did, because we have a different theme every month for the 6 months. The piece that we did tonight was idea storming. They were blown away with how it worked. And when I told them that I made that up in 2005, I was training at Lambeth Council, I was running a workshop, somebody challenged me on the idea of creativity, and he said, I'm not creative, and kind of sat back in his chair like, go on then. So he's basically saying, I'm not doing this exercise because I'm not creative. And quite frankly, I think the course was, there was one called critical thinking and decision making skills, and I used to do a segment of creativity on that, but this one was purely the one about creative thinking. So if you're going to sit there and tell me you're not creative and fold your arms, that basically means you're not going to participate in the day. So I'm like, okay, let's do this thing. And I says, look, my belief is that yes, you might be predominantly analytical, however, I believe that everyone can be creative and you can pull creativity out of thin air. As I took them through that exercise today, which I call idea storming, they were blown away, and it worked so brilliantly that all of them have said, I'm going to do that for the rest. I'm going to take that idea and I'm going to put it into practice with you know, because tonight the exercise was that come with an issue or a challenge or a problem, put it on the table. I'm going to apply some creative thinking techniques to that, and we'll do some idea storming. And they loved it so much they've all actually happily said they're going to go away and put it into practice. So that was really cool. Okay, cool. I'll answer that in a sec. So that was really cool. I think that's just lovely. But it is this whole thing about, you know, not just falling in love with books or falling back in love with books. It's the whole thing about seeing your potential. Because there was somebody on the workshop today, and she's just written a chapter for a book. Where was it? Oh yeah, here it is. So she said, so she's invited to write a chapter on a book. I won't say what it's about. And so we're talking about the intuition, using your inner guidance, your inner wisdom, all that sort of stuff. And she said, the guide said, not this, but this, use these books, because she went to the library and you know, delighted, you know, how many people go to the library and just get so excited that you can take out as many books as you want? There's no longer a restriction. I know when I was growing up, it was like 6 or 8 books, something like that. So she's like just woohoo. And then she's in the library to do some topic reading, putting into action what we did for the mastermind group last month. And then she said she got a real sense that there were books around the house that would be useful for her, not just what was in the library. And of course, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of books in the library. And so she said, that's what I needed to do. So she included those and then used the skills to edit a chapter of the book. She then said she, you know, had an information break, and she said, as I'm even saying it to you, I'm solidifying my truth because I know this is the way that I can be in this world. So it's actually quite deep stuff. She then said, I did some direct learning, and and I found myself asking the books and asking the authors to speak, and it's really opening up my mind. And then she said because she's written before, but she was saying she's had such it was such an easy experience in terms of the writing and also the editing and knowing what to leave in, what to take out. And so that's when she said the whole thing about, I'm entering Harry Pottersville world where once inanimate objects have come to life, because she's having that experience that I describe on the workshop, where books and material and things around you are coming to life to assist you and help you on your journey. So just really fantastic, really, really amazing. So thank you for all coming out to play and for doing my crazy stuff and following the instructions. And once people do that, they just find out how easy it all is, and that's the key thing. And they've all also had the whole thing about the raising and the lowering of the bar today. I think they've totally got it now. It's only taken 3 sessions, but that's cool. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to really start rolling and ramping it up a gear from here. And so in terms of that thing that just popped up, yes, let me just make sure I see it. Oh, I won't do it on there. I won't fiddle about with that because that is so easy to throw that out. Let me just have a look. See, 1 second. Yay. Of course, yeah. Alrighty. So yes, it is. So question is, that flashed up, because I've done a thing this week where I'm saying, look, if anybody wants to learn this from the comfort of your own home, there's an opportunity to get, I've done an online, let's see, I think I've still got it on here from last time actually. Let's see, yes, there I have. So I've done a kind of an online video photo reading training. It's a whole day. So I think it runs to about 6 hours, something like that. There are 4 modules that you can do. One of the, module 1 is about just an overview of photo reading, kind of looking at the applications and possibilities, kind of moving from that place of brain fog to center stage where you've got clarity of mind. The second DVD is the overview of the photo and whole mind system, where we're looking at, the power of the multiple intelligences, the tangerine technique, how to overcome dyslexia, and looking at step 1, which is about prepare, which is very much about the piece with dyslexia. As though somebody was just asking, is that really free? Yes, it is. So the way it is, what I'm doing this week, because I recognize, I've had some people who've booked early for my final photo reading workshop this year, which is still a couple of months away. So what I've decided to do for those people who've booked, who are booking this week, you will get free lifetime access to the online video DVD, which means you can take the whole training. DVD 3, and if you can't read it on the screen, it's about, we look at step 1, prepare, step 2, preview, step 3, photo read. We're going to do an introduction to mind mapping and also look at post view. And then DVD number 4 is an overview of step 5, which is activation. And then there are 3 bonus sessions, which I actually don't teach on the photo reading workshop. So bonus session number 1 is enhancing your intuition. Bonus session number 2 is improving your memory and recall. And bonus session number 3 is the access consciousness and Huna belief change session. And that's the one I've had people cry when they've taken part in the remote Huna, because they just totally feel it, which is really lovely. So yes, so what I'm going to do, if people who are booking early, because I appreciate there's a couple of months to go, if you're doing that this week, you will get a free access, and it's lifetime access. Once you've got your login, it's yours, and you can do the whole online video training. So it's like being in the classroom with us. One of the first people who did the training said it was like being a fly on the wall, and she just felt she was with us all the way. So that's that. And yes, in terms of the question that I've had, and I sent the e-newsletter out today just to answer that, was it applies whether you're doing the pay in full version with the early booking price, or if you wanted to pay the deposit, which is £200, and then you can create your own payment plan between now and the end of September. So yes, it is not a trick. It's just so that you don't have to wait until October. You can get started right away. And some of you maybe have heard me talk about Sita, where she had gone back to professional study. failed her exams, was in a bit of a panic and was very stressed about it, and so she did the DVD, that very DVD that you've just seen, and only had a couple of weeks before the exam was due to take place, was very nervous about it all, took herself through the DVD, very little input from me. We had a couple of messenger chats, a couple of chats in my Facebook membership group, but nothing big. So she basically did it herself, took herself through the whole program, and she said that when she went to the exam, number one, she was calm and relaxed, which, as the person on the mastermind group was saying, that's wow. And she also said, which always happens with my students, that she could see her mind map in her head. And I think why the reason why the person who was on the mastermind group today had that experience, where saying, I just knew the answers, it's that process. And so it can be amazing just taking yourself through it. And of course, not everybody's doing it for exams. It might just be not just its major, the intuition piece. What I call the neuro success piece, getting the mind and body and brain and beliefs and thoughts to work in alignment with each other. So there are so many, things. And as my mastermind group delegates are now discovering, it goes way, way, way beyond reading. There are so many incredible things that you can do with this. So yes, it's not a trick. If you're booking early for the photo reading workshops, so that you don't have to wait throughout the whole summer, you can get started straight away. Pretty much you could be up and running, well, within reason. I was going to say up and running in the next few minutes. Actually, I think I've set it up. I know it sometimes works better when I do it manually, but I think I think you should get an auto link when you do it. Of course, I haven't done it for a couple of years now, but you should get an auto link when you do it, so you can actually be up and running within 5 minutes. But if the auto link, for some reason, I'll have to really check that out. Actually, it doesn't always work straight away. So as long as it takes me to set you up with your login, which will be about 10 minutes, you could get started straight away. And for some reason, it's very popular with people in Australia, which is fabulous. So yeah, you could be anywhere in the world. You could be with us in the training room if you can't make it to the UK. And of course, you can buy the DVD separately. At the moment, it starts at £127. So of course, you can just go and buy it. And I'll put the link in the conversation thread if you wanted to take a look. But yeah, so I just think, for me, I think the Harry Pottersville was just such a cool analogy, a really, really brilliant way to describe it all. And I just think it is. And the group laughed today when I reminded them. But one of the things that we say, well, I say at the end of the photo reading workshop, there's a slide that goes up that says, "Welcome to the world of photo reading." And it really is entering another world. It really is the Harry Pottersville experience, where you are entering another world where things come to life in ways that you wouldn't believe. And it is the start of a magical journey. And so, she's spot on. I said to her, Monica, I love that quote. And she said, feel free to use it. And so I'm going to use it liberally, because I think it's a wonderful way to describe it all. And yeah, it's cool stuff. So if you want to join us, the website, it's www.transformationstm.com/photo reading. And if it's for the DVD, it's /photo, it's a bit of a mouthful, photo reading live DVD. I've just put that in the conversation thread. So that's always available if you wanted to do it. But if you wanted it free of charge, then sure, it will come with the early booking price, so you can get started. Cool. I just thought I would share that with you. Made me smile. Rounding off the evening, we've just done a very late photo reading mastermind group session, because I've got somebody who commutes in from work, so we do an evening one for this. But yeah, it's always fantastic. And oh my God, I've been photo reading properly for 18 years. I became an instructor in March 2002, and to this day, it still blows my mind, and it's still totally fills me with joy when people have the same experience that changed and transformed my life all of those years ago. It's like cool. And I will continue probably to run classes for as long as I get that feeling of like, wow, because it really is. We're talking today about what are you capable of, this wonderful thing here. We're just scratching the surface. I already know that. I've been studying this for 18 years, and looking at neuroscience and all that, and personal development as well, which is where the neuro success idea comes from. And I know I know that I'm still scratching the surface. And of course, neurosciences as well. We've learned more in the last, 10 to 15 years than we have in the last 100 years. And so that is in and of itself, and things like neuroplasticity, that's all very new. So I know it intellectually, but I also just know it psychologically and spiritually that we've got no idea what we're capable of. However, I'm having fun exploring that and pushing the boundaries. So yeah, if you want to join me, feel free. I love it. Yeah, and whether that's in person or online, it's all good. Cool. Well, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you happen to be residing in the world. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you know someone who could benefit from photo reading, by all means, feel free to share this video with them. That would be awesome. And I will catch you later. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, and if you have any questions, put them in the thread. And of course, Facebook or YouTube will ping me when a question comes up. That's cool. Fabulous. Catch you later. Bye.